perfection. All right, everybody's looking good. We got all the lights on. I don't even have my gloves on yet. How's it going, everybody? It's Paint with Josh. We're back in the building with you today. It's going to be fantastic. So, as you can see, we've got a lot of colors outlaid on the screen. I have not done a double portal painting in a very long time, so I figured give you guys a little treat. We'll do a double portal painting. So, in order to do that, I took my 16 by 20 inch black canvas. It was already black. I put my liquid clear all over it. Then I took my 8-inch cake pan and my 12-inch round cutout from like a wedding cake stand, basically. And I put those onto the canvas where I wanted them to be. And then I kind of marked out my colors around the outside, okay? Took them off, and then we filled in the inside with a little bit of crimson, a little bit of blue and purpley bits. And then we have Indian yellow, phthalo green and sap green mixed, Indian yellow, green, yellow, green, yellow, green, a little bit of crimson up there. We're just gonna have to see what happens when we interact with all these colors, and that's the fun part, right? Is interacting with the colors and making everything come to life. So, very first thing we need to do is make sure everything is within reach, okay? So I can't show you initially how we're gonna load the brush, but we're gonna get a little bit of our white paint on it over here. And then I've got my 2-inch brush sitting right there as well, so I can grab that without moving. Because once you get up here, you're not going to want to move, okay? So we got our Paint with Josh fan brush. Got enough paint on it to hold the brissies together. There we go. Gorgeous. Nice little sharp little fan brush. So I'm going to put my 12-inch cake round just about an inch away from the side, maybe an inch and a half or two from the bottom. Over here, about the same distance. And we're going to make like a little BB-8 little thing. You're a Star Wars fan? You're about to be. Okay, we're going to take this guy right here. We're going to go around very lightly. The more that I push, the bigger my circle is going to be because my brush is going to be dropping more paint onto it, right? So I'm gonna try to keep the same even pressure throughout the whole thing. If I lift or I push too hard, it's gonna cause some damage. If I'm not pushing hard enough, then our line won't be equal, right? So you're pushing too big, your line's gonna be too big. You're not pushing hard enough, your line won't be equal. There we go. Oh, it's hard to hold them both up there at the same time. Gorgeous. Now, without moving, okay, grab your 2-inch brush and nice and clean 2-inch brush. Just drag some of that color away like in a clock motion, right? Like we're a little clock. It doesn't have to grow too far, but it should be interacting with those colors, right? Drag it out, drag it out, drag it out. Each one does not have to be the same, right? You're never gonna see it all exactly the same. It's just about the same force. Go across it, and then we'll see what it looks like by the time we get done. I have to sneak my big old head in here between you guys. Just to pull this side out, go all the way around, holding it very firmly, using the little bowl and stuff as a backdrop so you're not going inside your circle, right? There, gorgeous. I think I can get rid of this guy now. You ready to see it? Oof, look at that. That is purty. Come out here, drag this stuff outwards, right? And once we reveal, you got this whole little double portal scene, you guys. It's fantastic. Now, I don't want to get too much paint down here, but I'm going to line this guy back up. I'm going to put him back in his little spot over there. Make sure we're all lined up and good. And we're going to come around here just with a very faint little line just to tell where the two stopped. You know what I mean? Then you got your double eclipse going across, opening up a portal into another dimension. Now that we're done with these guys, we're going to put them back underneath the table. We don't need those guys anymore. Let them go dry with all that paint on there. What do you guys think, though? Very cool, right? We haven't done one of these in a while. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yes, I love it. I love it. That's what I mean. If you don't have the right amount of paint around the edge, makes it noticeable. Okay, down here we're gonna put a big old tree that sticks up into this thing, a big old bush anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But now that we've got our scene and we have our colors underneath, let's take that same white paint. And who knows, let's pop a little moon out there, a little sun or something, whatever it is. Let's switch to our smaller brush because we're in a smaller area now. And we do not want to exit the portal. You can get as close as you can out there just by mixing up that color, right? Close as you can. Do not, I repeat, go outside the portal, especially up top. As you get down closer, sure, you can go out a little bit, but not up top. Now, the more that we mix it, the more it's intermixing in with all these colors, and I want to push it harder than I think I might need it because it's not a cloud out there, guys. It's a little moon. You know how to paint a moon or a sun or whatever you think. we're gonna take our little filbert brush and pull it down through the paint a couple times, just on the one side, not the back side, just the front side, okay? We're gonna come out here, we're gonna place it right into the brightest part. I'm gonna give it a high five, push it against the canvas. Now, the more pressure that I give it when I'm spinning, the bigger my circle is going to be. And if I keep it nice and light and go all the way around, one full rotation, boop, you can get your little moon. Now, let's say your moon's not you're trying to make it too small, right? Let's make it bigger. Let's push harder, and let's rotate out as far as the bristles will go. And then you get your perfect circle. Bang, just like that. Fabulous. Yeah! My voice is not warmed up yet today. It's still not there. Okay, let's take a little bit more of our white paint on the old Paint with Josh fan brush. Pop it up, pop it up. Don't get outside of our portal. Remember, we don't need a whole lot of paint up there in order for it to grow ever downward. We're gonna mix it and mix it and mix it. Now we've got that blue and our crimson and our yellow in there as well, and it's kind of a little brownish, which is nice. It's neat, I like it. The more we're gonna push on it, the lighter and lighter and lighter it gets, right? You get all that detail up there, a little bit of lightness down here. Now we're gonna wash off our fan brush, because we gotta have a clean, dry brush if we're gonna go do something like this, you guys. It's a whole lot of fun out here, isn't it? We need a clean, dry fan brush. We're gonna need our plaque mix, which is our black, our crimson, and our blue. Blue 2 times, crimson 2 times, black 1 time. 2 to 2 to 1 ratio, or 20-20, 40-40 and 20. I don't know how to add, it's fine. I'm a painterist. I'm not a mathematician. I'm a paint-matician. I'm also a dullard, so it's all fine. Okay, very cool. We're gonna mix up those 3 colors until they turn into this really dark mix is all we need. Just a dark mixture of color. Now, let's get a little Halloween-y. I hadn't even thought about that. But since it's getting close to Halloween, let's get a little Halloween-y out here. A little Halloween-y. Halloween-y. We're gonna come down here into our dark paint. Okay, load it up, enough to hold our bristles together. Okay. Let's make a small little bit of forest back here. So as we start touching, we're gonna kind of go up and down, make a little triangle, right? Just like that, little pyramid of trees. Now, the more that we tap underneath those guys, and the darker that it gets under here, the more you look at the top of them, right? We're not really gonna see the bottom. The bottom is gonna be covered in mist, and it gets a little taller as it gets over here, and it comes down again, and it's whatever we want it to be out there. It's gorgeous, that's what it is. It's fantastic. Remember, do not go outside the portal yet. You can leave that darkness around the edge, because it's kind of like we're looking inside of it. And get very close, but don't exit the portal. Keep your arms and hands inside the ride at all times. Yes, it's very cool. Very cool. We can even put like a darker bit of cloud back here too. Kind of going across our moon. A little bit of darkness back there. Right, that's just our plaque mix. And we're gonna come underneath it, mix it up very lightly, okay? Just underneath that moon, right? Boom, like that. Then we gotta get a little bit of our brightness, which is our titanium white on the top up here. Just like that, little touch, little bit up there. Okay, we're gonna go back with the same brush. We're gonna mix it down, because every time we do something, we're just giving the paint a chance to grow out there in the night. So that light on the top, dark on the bottom. Then we have our other cloud underneath there, and our forest. Guys, we're kicking butt so far. You ready? We're gonna take our 2-inch brush. We're gonna be dabbing from like just kind of grazing upwards, right? Enough times to fill it in. So say right here, it's not as full as I want. Push on it, push on it, push on it until it fills in those spaces in between my trees. I don't want to be able to see in the trees. I want to be able to see over the trees, okay? It's too dark and dense in the forest back there to see in those trees. Now let's take again, just because we need to have a little bit, there's no white or anything underneath here, right? How are we gonna make any mist if we don't have any white paint, any fog and stuff, right? So we're gonna make a whole new little cloud underneath our little forest in the background, right? Separating it with a light separation this time. And as we come in and mix it or tap at it, right? If we're tapping in an 8-inch area, we don't have a lot of room to play with. Right, but if we come up here and we start pushing on that paint, making another little cloud underneath our forest in the background, and we can decide where you would like to have some Paint with Josh grass and what color we should go with. I'm thinking let's go greeny in this guy. Greeny, yellowy grass. Look at how much skin. Look how long it's been since I used that cad yellow. It's not even wet on the top. There we go. Little cad yellow, a little bit of my sap green, just kind of tapping it onto the brush, kind of scooping it towards the front of the brush like that. It's the Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. This is the old one. I should be using the newer one because it'll make like a fresher shape. But look at that, even with the old brush, what a tight little line you can make just with that old Paint with Josh 1-inch brush. And that's after it's been used a bunch, you know what I mean? I've used this guy a whole 10 ton of times. Woo! There's a little hill forming in the background, guys. Just by coming underneath it, right? That's over exaggerated, but you know what I mean. We're tapping it in, tapping it in, tapping it in. Getting it close to the edge, but not touching the edge. And now we've got this little grassy area. What if our moonlight was just lighting up a little spot, just a little bit brighter than the rest? Oh, there he is, there he is. Just that little space. And you're gonna be like, ooh, I like that. Just don't overdo it, right? The more that we put on there, as I'm reaching for more paint, don't overdo it, Josh. But the more that we put on there, the less bright that space is, and the more it just over brightens everything, right? So let's try not to let it get too stinking bright out there. Look at the difference though. Bink, shining down. Now, let's put a little waterfall, only because we're doing a double portal scene and they need to interact with each other. Let's put a little waterfall, and then I was thinking about doing one of my farm scenes down in this one, guys. What do you think? We could do farm scene, we could do a winter scene or an ocean scene or whatever kind of thing. It's just a fresh area to interact with, right? That's all we're doing. We're painting on circular canvases, basically. Just think about it like that. So let's take a little bit of my titanium white. We don't need to have too much liquid white. It's gonna get very runny back there, okay? And let's just start underneath our grass, and we're gonna start cutting back and forth. This is gonna be an over-exaggeration again, right? We're gonna go like this, like that, like this, that. Big Z shapes, right? Except miniature. Little things. Scrape it, scrape it, scrape it, scrape it, scrape it. The more we scrape at it, the more it's going to fall off the blade. The more we're going to have brighter areas and darker areas and different things as the white intermixes with the blue paint that's already down there. It's all we're doing, literally, right? If you don't have any blue paint or any other colors down underneath your water, then you won't have any color interacting. What if we put a bit more brightness kind of underneath our moon, just not overwork it too much? And then we got a little thing happening back here, you guys. It's almost there. The voice is almost there. Okay, now remember, you have to have the water falling. It can't come all the way down here. Otherwise, this is gonna be there and that's gonna be here. We're gonna be taking up the entire area because this would have to extend out to there and that would have to extend all the way out if it was just flat water. But we know it's not flat water. It's got a bit of a falls in there, right? There's a couple different ways to do it. You can either use your palette knife and roll over or do whatever you want to do, or you can use your fan brush, right? So let's say we get out a little further, and this is what I'm talking about. You got to start going farther away. We start at the small point, and each thing has to get bigger and bigger and bigger to start looking like it is getting closer to us, right? Oh yeah, oh that's gonna be cool. Look at that, way back in there. It's much darker because there's less paint on the blade, right? We're deciding as we go, do we want to make this whole thing a river? No. Do we? I mean, we could. We could make the whole thing a river and just have it all pour out into the guy. But we're going to put a couple little bushes and stuff down here in the front. So don't worry. But if you're going to use your palette tool, you're going to get enough paint onto the blade, you're going to roll over and slide down just like a mountain waterfall or a mountain piece would be. Sliding down, sliding down. It's hard to do, right? It gives you a cool look, but it's not easy for a beginner to do that. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our bigger fan brush, we're gonna overload it with paint, almost scooping up the paint so there's a bigger amount on the end, okay? That way you've got that little roll, just like we do on our palette tool. And then if you went over to the side and down, right? Depends on the amount of paint that you have, you can leave little breaking areas with your thing if you want. You don't have to, right? Which one do you like the most? How big is our waterfall gonna be? Rolling out and down. And it's gonna get caught in the clouds down here is my guess of our next little scene. Literally, do whatever you wanna do. That's the fun part about it. Drag these guys backwards, right? Whichever way you went. We were going kind of over to the side and down, over, down, over, down, over, down, over, down. So we're dragging back from left to right. If you're going over in this way, then you're gonna be dragging it from right to left as you get onto the top. And all it does is just make the top a little bit brighter, so it looks like there's a bit of tumultuousness as it's about to fall over the edge. Now, we've got to go back into our plaque mix, and we're going to go into our Paint with Josh bushy brush. And we're going to get the brand new Paint with Josh bushy brush, and this is what I want you to do to this brand new brush, right? Like literally mush it as hard as you can, all the way around, as flat as possible. Either do it on the table, do it on your palette, or whatever, okay? Because the more you do it, the bigger the end is going to get, and that's what we want to happen. Right, now we have to have something up here before we keep going. So what I'm going to do is, instead of putting it flat direct on, right, we're going to angle it down a little bit and just get the top corner, the top part of the brush, right? See how we're not touching any other part of the bristles? And you can even tell that the bottom is completely uncovered in paint because of the angle. Now, if you're flat on the table like this, you're going to have to angle it like that and access the paint so you still don't touch those bottom bristles, okay? Then we're gonna come up here, we're gonna go up into our darkness, and kind of dangle down, right? Actually, let's throw some of let's put our clouds in over here. If we mix these guys up, and again, don't go out of your portal in your sky. We can go outside the portal here because we're in the foreground, but this is in the background of this scene down here. So don't go out of your portal until you get to your foreground. Excellent. Look at that, you guys. All right, our waterfall's falling off. It's being caught by our cloudiness. You can go as far as you want down. You can do whatever you want to do. You can have your cloud come up even higher. Right? Wherever you want it to be is where it's going to be. Bang, just like that. Fabulous. It's basically the mist of our waterfall is now becoming a new scene for us to paint on. And now that we have our bright color down here, then we're going to have something for our little danglers and doers to hang into, again, making them look like they're forward and making the clouds look like they're back. It's all about that depth and distance in your portal scenes, you guys. Come up over here, into the waterfall a little bit. Don't have to go crazy. And you do have to cover over that little thin outline that we had put down there. Pop over that guy, maybe you come up and out of your portal, maybe you're up into your grass over here. Because again, this is the foreground of this scene, this is the background of the bottom scene. Remember that. Now, let's go back in. We're gonna grab some of our liquid white. We're gonna get some of our onto our big old brush. And then we're gonna get up here and we're gonna decide, let's get a little bit of our sap green. We're gonna get some of our sap green on there. Just plunge into the whole pile, but just with the top corner that has the paint on it, right? Too much paint on here, and I'm not gonna be able to access all of it. If they're, like literally, if it's down too far on the brush, then I have to push too hard to get it to come off of the brush, which is not what we want. If we're pushing too hard, we're gonna intermix those paints and they're all gonna become gross and nasty, okay? So look at that. This whole thing right here, that big chunk of paint, my brain wants me to push harder on the brush to access that chunk. Can't do that. You gotta be very, very, very light-handed, right? So if anything, I've gotta come back in here, up onto the top of the bristles again. If you even have to turn your palette vertical like this to get it on there, do it, right? Get into the top bristles, then I can come off of this guy, tap on a couple little bits, little doers, just lightly, right? The more I tap, the more chance that I'm going to smush them or smear them, right? And that's not what you want to do. You're just trying to get the color to attach very lightly. Very light touch, very light touch. Okay, now that we're down into this scene over Shaw, we can do all sorts of crazy stuff. Since we already have our plaque mix mixed up over here, and all sorts, we can even pop a little sticky tree coming down through there. We can do all sorts of things, you guys. It's crazy what we can do. Okay, let's get back in here. Let's start popping in some faraway trees again. This is a good way to break up all that brightness, right? We've got our bright, now we've got to have some dark underneath it to kind of split up those trees and keep them separated. Just like Red Hot Chili Peppers said, man. Pretty sure it was The Offspring. Anybody catch that faux pas? No? You're not paying close enough attention then. Pretty sure it was the Beastie Boys. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's get out here with our 2-inch brush again. We're gonna drag up. We're not gonna drag up so far that we hit our little bushes. Portal paintings are a good practice at not letting things touch too much, right? Very cool, guys. What do you think of this one? I haven't even looked at the comments. How many people we got watching out here? Oh, that's looking nice. That's looking nice. Nice, man. You guys are wicked cool. Thank you all for being here. You're all amazing, and I love yous equally. Let's get up here a little bit more of our white, and again, create some of that misty background. Because even if we're gonna have like a grassy field or a farm scene or something, there's gonna be a little mist. You gotta have those layers, those differences. And if I get in here, and I push on it, push on it, the more I push, the more it's gonna grow, right? We don't necessarily want it to grow too stinking far. And it doesn't, you don't have to start your next layer down here. You can start it way up here if you want to. There just has to be a little bit of stuff in between. If you get that little bit of stuff in between there, then everything starts looking cool, man. Okay, now let's drop down. Let's get a little bit of our yellow ochre. We got any soft paint back here? Oh, there's a little. There's a little of the old yellow oaky. We're gonna get our yellow ochre down here. Let's get a little touch of our dark sienna brown too, if there's any. Josh, why do you do painting shows and you don't even have paint on the palette? I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. Let's get back here. Now remember, we could put that road in here from our little farm scene with our muddy puddle down at the bottom. All up to us. But let's say, yeah, we can go, you know what? Let's go back. Ooh, let's pop something in over here. So let's go over here. I'm gonna start tapping in very vertically with the brush, and even with the big old monstrous used, some of the bristles are even hard on this one. Like, it's time to get rid of this Paint with Josh brush and switch to the new one, because I let this one go a little bit too far. But even with him, right, you can see this very fine line, even with a nasty old brush. Right, now we're gonna drop lower, just like steps. So we're gonna drop down, keep over here, and then we're gonna drop a little lower and start a little further to the side. Drop a little lower and start a little further to the side. And the more that you do that, right, the more you're going to make it look like our left side is a little closer and our right side is a little further away. We can't see many things over there. It's getting farther and harder and everything, you know, it's just too much over there, guys. Now remember, we're gonna have some big foreground in here, so I'm not worried about this big old white patch back in here. So we're gonna have something popping up out of our portal and everything. It's gonna be fabulous. Look at that little guy, right? Yeah, then we'll put our thing down here, and then we're gonna put our road right there, passing through. Drop a little muddy puddle on there. It's gonna be wicked. Okay, so if we're gonna do that, let's change a little bit. We've got that yellow ochre mix of our grass. Let's go into a little bit of our sap green too. Bring that guy down here, just so it changes it. See what I mean? It's not the same color anymore. Oh yeah, all right? Then we're gonna start making little smiley faces underneath this guy. So we're gonna come underneath him, little smiley face. Right? The more we do that, the more it's gonna look like it's dropping down a level and then flattening back out again. That's what it's about. It's not about these straight lines, right? These little straight taps aren't gonna get you anywhere. We start coming out here longer and longer and longer, getting up to where our colors meet. You can leave that little dark separation in there if you want, so it looks like a little drop down. We could put a little fence back here. We could do all sorts of stuff, you guys. Now remember, we've got our moonlight up here that's casting down into our scene. So we haven't really made anything too bright down on the bottom, in which case we could go back in, maybe get a bit of that brighter green grass that we had from up here, and we start dropping in some areas that may catch some of that light from above. Right? Not everywhere has to catch that light, but a little bit. Maybe we're just brightening up our grass color. Who knows? Right? It's whatever we feel like when we're out here doing these things, and that's the best part about it, man. I just got done doing 2 days worth of classes up in Gaston. So fun. Everybody had a great time because we're just loose with it, man. We don't even care. Who cares? Like, literally, we're up here having fun. We're not trying to work, right? We didn't come here to work. We came here to have fun, you guys. So let's go back. Now we got a little bit brighter in here. Let's get a little bit more of our yellow ochre down here in our little pile again. Just again, changing it. So now it's a little bit more orangish. And come up here, we can tap on. There we go. Yeah, right. But again, we don't want everywhere to be that same color. It's just kind of where our light is coming down and hitting in our grass and our waterfall and all that stuffery. Right? If we make it all the same amount of brightness, then we won't have any highlight to look forward to, which is almost what we've done right now. Right? We've almost made it too bright by adding too much paint, and that's okay. Like I was telling in my classes earlier, yesterday and the day before, if you let your highlight color become the actual whole color of our theme, then it no longer becomes a highlight, right? So if we're gonna put a highlight on there, let's put a little highlight on there and then stop. And that way, you're gonna be finding little differences and little themes, right? But if it goes too far, it's gonna be too much. It came down this way. Where do you want them to be in your mind? Totally up to you, right? Very cool. Okay, now let's throw in just a little bit of our background as well. We're gonna have our black mixture over here. And we need a little bit more of it. So we're gonna take our black, our crimson, our blue, mix those guys together until there's a serious dark mix, right? Now that we've got all this light down here, we have to start putting dark things on top of it. Again, it's all about layering, you guys. Layer it down, man. Okay, what are we looking at over here, guys? You guys. You love that I do these auras now? I've been doing these. I'm the one that started this double portal thing. I'm the one that started the portals, right? You see people going viral using my portal idea? It's pretty cool. I definitely don't get jealous. It's literally why I put these things out for you guys. But yeah, I'm the one that did this. This is the Paint with Josh double portal thing, and everybody that does it after me is all copycats, and you all know. Okay, let's get over here. We don't want it to get too big, right? So even using this brush is almost too big of a tree for us. And I know I'm gonna have something right here in the front. We could even do our bigger trees and let them hang out the side or whatever, but I'm not gonna aim for this side. We're gonna come over here and let's pop down just a little dark tree right down there, right into the grass. Come down here, we can put a couple gravestones in and stuff too. Start popping this guy in, and the more we get down, the more we push in. The more we push in, the more it looks like this little tree out there. It gets fatter at the bottom. Now we're gonna come back in and sort of take away by tapping in at the base of him and go in either direction, right? It's gonna kind of seat him into the grass. Therefore, he's not out there just floating. A little bit of that light in front of his butt. There we go. I like it. I like it, you guys. Now we can throw some gravestones in and all sorts of stuff out there, and we're gonna have a good old time. Good old time, man. The portals are very cool, aren't they? Remember, if you're watching over on the tube, just give me an old thumbs up. Is all we need from you over there. Just a little old thumbs up. This guy we're gonna take up a little higher in the background. There. Again, we get to choose what it looks like each time, how far that brightness gets to grow down, and you can even connect them if we wanted to and change our whole idea, right? It's all about that bright part, and then we got our little shadowy area, and then we'll put our little roadway in, which is gonna be pretty cool. And we only need a few more little things back here. So let's switch to, we can even go back to our bushy brush. We just don't wanna make them too big, right? We need to have something. So if I touch my whole brush on right here, it's gonna be that big on the canvas, right? So what if I turn it upside down and I just touch it like that? Just a little thing, something, whatever it is, right? Couple little bushes, couple little things. I can do the same thing with my fan brush by like just tapping it and having it be odd. That's all we're looking for. A little bit of oddness to it. And we'll come back in and tap at the base. Work its way down, give it a little bit of a shadow and kind of seeding it into that grass back there, right? Now we got this little thing out there, whatever it is, looking very neat. Now we're gonna go back to our filbert brush. Since I said we'd do a little Halloween-y type of thing, right? Let's go back to our filbert brush. We need to seed this guy in the grass a little bit more. There. That's all. Maybe it's a spine of something out there, okay? Now, if we're gonna do a little gravestone, I like to use my filbert brush. You can also use your fan brush, right, as we get closer to us. But if we're off here in the distance, let's just literally touch the filbert brush on and then pull it down and stop. Just like that. Get a little gravestone out there, okay? If you need to, you can seed him into the grass with a couple little taps, okay? And then as we start getting bigger and closer to us, we need to get bigger, which means we need to get a little bit, like right where his butt would be, get a little bit bigger and drop down a little bit lower. Right, so we're starting to have these little gravestones popping out, getting closer and closer and closer. Tap it in to seat it into the grass. Right? I kind of like this orangish, yellowy, like, let me take more of my yellow ochre up here. There we go. There, right? Don't forget about our little hill back there. And just tap it. There we go. I like that. I like it. Just so it's different, right? Going throughout the whole thing, just being different. Now, if we're going to do a bigger one that's up here, since we're going to have some bigger tree, or at least another little guy on this side, let's do our bigger guy in here. Now, if we're going to do it, a lot of times I'll do it with a fan brush just because you can go like this. You can kind of turn it, right? Get to the edge and then drop it down. And then get to this side and then drop it down. And now you got that rounded corner, just like your filbert brush would. Get a bigger little thing, make a little Z shape, right? Kind of going there, there to here, or as you're coming down towards you, okay? Then again, we've got to seed it into the grass. There. Gorgeous. Bang, right? Let's drop him down in. Now, with these guys that are in the front, some of the times you can get a little highlight on them. Right now, how are you going to highlight something like that, Josh? We're going to get our white. We're going to go over this plaque mixture enough times, right out to the edge, over and down, just like we're making another little waterfall, right? And the more that we go over this guy, the brighter it gets. And it'll start getting darker and darker and darker. And we get to decide where the top is, where the back is, where all these things are. And we do that with our liner brush. So with our liner brush and our odorless mineral spirits, to make the liner brush very wet and very runny like watercolor, seriously, really wet. And we're gonna go like this. We're gonna decide, you know what? If we can tap our little guy a little higher on this side, and then work it down to a little diagonal on this side. There we go. Just like that. Now it's gonna look like it's facing us. Instead of facing straight, it's facing like this a little bit, okay? And the way that we can do that is give it a small little line along the top, and then bigger, right there. Kind of split that space, right? And now we've got two-sided little brick of a gravestone out there. Very simple and easy, you guys. Very simple and easy. And the more that you put on there, the brighter it's going to be. So you get to decide how bright it got. But leave those lines. They tell us that it's 3D now. Very cool. Now, let's see what else we're going to do in this guy. I don't want to get too far out over here. So let's add a little bit of our brown colors. Both of our brown mixes on the brush. Let's try to sneak them in here without going out of our portal. Maybe we can keep this one contained. There, but we gotta have that brown color, our dark brown, right next to the edge right here, in order to do our little muddy puddle, which is my favorite thing, is grabbing a little bit of our liquid white and a little bit of our yellow ochre. I think is how we did it before, guys. Anybody remember? Anybody out there remember how we did the muddy puddle? We had our dark brown, then we put our very liquidy yellow ochre and liquid white, I'm pretty sure. Okay, ran it through here, just like that. We don't want it to be too big, don't need it to be too much of anything, too much paint, too big, too long. We don't need any of that, okay? Now, if we were to drag it down in different ways, we can always go back and cover it if it's too big. It's no big deal. Drag it out. There, right? Doesn't that look like a little puddle to you? Yes or no? Does this look like a little puddle to you? Just yes or no. If not, just tell me what you think it looks like. Thanks, Michael Wilbur. I appreciate you for that. No, it doesn't look like a little puddle? What if we did this, though? What if we did this and we drug it to the side very lightly? So we're not really extending it too much. And doesn't that look much more like a shiny little watery area, especially when we come in here with our details and all of our little scrapey bits that we're going to add into our little roadway to make it look all muddy and nasty. Get right up onto our little muddy puddle. Leaves ourselves a shadow underneath our grass. You have to. Gotta have a little shadow under that grass. That kind of work him up. Push it harder. Spread it out. Spread it out, man. Right? Ouch. Remember, we gotta have a little dark separation in between our light color and dark color to make it look like it's sitting down a little bit, kind of sunken in. And grab that yellow ochre again. We're gonna work it through to this side, right there. Scraping it out. into here. We don't want to have too much. We don't want it to be too bright. So we can scrape at it and pull it and move it. We really don't want to try to get out of that portal either. Just like that. Remember, the bottom is going to be very dark. Now, look like a little muddy puddle now. Just a little puddle out there in the day. In the day. Get back in here and make this guy darker on the edge. There we go. Always soften it with your paints. You can always do that. If you don't like the texture, you can soften that guy right down to just be as small as you want. Got a little puddle out there. Oh, I like it. Guys, I like that one. I like it. Yeah! We can even make this one smaller. There we go. Even shallower of a little puddle. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Take a step back and look at it sometimes. There we go. All right, this little old thing. You gotta have enough paint, enough room on either side in order for it to look like it's kind of in the middle out there. Little details, a little bit closer to us over here. Just like that. I like it, guys. I'm digging it. Now, let's put in one more of those big old trees. Since we got the paint, let's put in, let's just see. Let's put in a big old pine tree. We haven't done a big old pine tree in a while. All right, so we're gonna come up here out of our portal. We're gonna wiggle down, kind of pull down on our tree trunk, pushing it a little harder as you go. And that's going to take everything that looks like it's in front of this and kind of bring it outside of the portal. It's kind of opening up, pushing it back. Very neat. Now, we're gonna come along the side, and this one's up here gonna be a little hard to see until we put our highlight on them, but we're just kind of pushing on until you get that into that color, that lighter color where you can start to notice the tree. All right, and as we're going down, we're just using more brush. Okay, kind of popping it out one way, popping it out the other way. Almost making like a little Z pattern as we go down. And then filling it back in however you want it to be, right? The main thing is you gotta have it be textured. It's gotta be thick. You have to. Otherwise, it's not going to look like it's close, right? It's not big, and it's not, we can't see a lot of branches or little, textury bits. It's just not gonna look closer to us. It's gonna look like it's far away and indistinct. So remember to use enough paint, and that's a lot. It's a lot of paint when you're up there making those trees. You need a lot of it, okay? Then we're gonna switch to one of our smaller brushes, and we're gonna grab our liquid white. Let's see, over here. Got our little Halloween-esque little scene out here. I've done a double pour in a long time. Grab our liquid white over into our sap green again. I think this is the Master's Touch sap green. Might be the Winsor & Newton sap green. No, it's Master's Touch for sure. Yeah. Then we're gonna get our cad yellow, bring that over here as well. You don't wanna have any white on the brush. Not painting a snowy scene. Remember, all of our light is coming from the side over there, so we're gonna tap on and then just very lightly start dropping on little bits. Remember, this one's further away, so we don't even have to really be able to see too many things on him. Try not to cover up all of our little shadow. And get this cool little tree out there in the day, right? Whatever we want him to be. Little thing out there. Now, the bigger one, we're gonna notice a lot more, and we're gonna have to stay kind of separated a lot more. Right? As we come tapping down, it's just kind of tapping out and then tapping back in a little bit. The more that you do, okay, from the edge, the more that you do over here, and the bigger little splotches that you make, the more you're going to dislike it. Right? We obviously don't need them all to be in exactly the same place. And now that we've got that darker color onto our brush, because we keep tapping at it, we're gonna go up the back side, adding that little bit of our shadow and such. Get a brighter side, get a darker side. Whoo! That's a tree and a half, you guys. Literally. And the bright side and dark sides line up like Christmas lights. Imagine wrapping Christmas lights around your tree, right? My mom would yell at me if I put too many lights in one spot, or there was a big hole and there wasn't any lights in another spot, right? Was that just my mom, or was that your guys' mom too? Think about it like that. When you're coming around, right, you're wrapping around, you're lining up, and you're kind of going around the tree up this way or down the tree this way, and you're the one that's doing it, okay? So don't put too many Christmas lights on your tree. Leave those gaps is what we mean. Okay, we're always talking about leaving those separations and such. We're gonna leave our little gaps. We're gonna take our yellow ochreish paint. Again, come up here, kind of tap in. We're gonna go down and we're gonna go up, down, right? Kind of making this look rounded by grabbing it at different levels. Okay. Wicked, 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 you guys. I really like this one. That's cool. Little graveyard scene. We got a waterfall in the background. All sorts of stuff, you guys. I even have enough paint that we could make this guy there. And kind of dangle down too. Why not? Why not, they say. Because I say, up here, dangle down some of that green, little bits, little bits, little bits. Now remember, doesn't all have to be just green. What if we wanted a few colors, they say? Right? That's up to you and what you're gonna do with your painting. You wanna have yellow, you wanna have blue, you wanna have pink, or even white flowers. There are white flowers, guys. Remember, you can put white out there. Even if it's not a winter scene, you can still do it. Okay, but what if we grabbed, should we do pink? Let's get a little pink. Let's get a little pink. So we'll do our crimson color, which is that madder carmine from Meaden. We're gonna plunge into the top of the pile like a kid would, right? We're not down here like grown-ups trying to load it very gingerly. We're up here like, oh, give me the paint now. Get it on my brush now. And then we'll come up here and we'll tap on a little bit of it. We don't need everything to overcover all of our green, right? Or even all of the dark bits. See, there's still dark pieces in there. That's cool. We popped a couple of those guys back in there. Maybe they could be like a little rose bush or something way off in the background. Who knows, right? It's all for fun. We're all just up here having fun, aren't we? Isn't this a good time? Aren't we having a blast? If you're having fun, right? Even if you don't paint, if you're having fun right now, just let me know. Let me know in the comments. We'll get a little bit of our cad yellow. Let's come off. Actually, let's go up here too. Kind of intermix them. Let them grow over each other. All right. Maybe we got a little bit of yellow right in there. Maybe that one's all yellow. Just right. Don't try to match them either. You're like, oh, they have to be exact on either side. They absolutely do not. Thank you for that. I appreciate you guys. They absolutely do not have to match. Right? We can even drop in. Check this out. Thank you. I appreciate it. Put in little things like that. Maybe they're little flowers in our grass or whatever. And if we didn't like them, right, we go back in and we tap at them and maybe only leave a couple. We got some daisies out, some dandelions. A dandelion. If you don't get that reference, we can't be friends, unfortunately. There we go. Okay. Yes! Okay, you guys let me know what we should call this painting, okay? If we want to have a bit of trunk, like a bit of, that's all skin. Can I get some paint that we can actually use? A bit of trunk in our tree. Let's take a little bit of our Van Dyke brown, a little bit of our titanium white, and you can come in here and just kind of tap at it in little places. We don't need it to show too much, right? If you're showing too much trunk, then your tree is going to be, your mom's going to yell at you for getting a bad tree, right? Because it's got too many holes in it. That's not what they want out there. There we go. A little bit, catching some light. Boom, bing, bang, boom. Just so you can see those little breaks in it. That's perfect. Okay, you guys start coming up with a title for this painting. If you love it, you can grab it. It's available over on my site. Everybody knows where to go in order to find said place. Soft. Soft. Gorgeous. Okay. So, if you don't, the mods can tell you how to get there. I'm sure they've been telling you this whole time. But man alive, that is a cool, cool, cool little painting. Just a good one if you're asking me. I'm trying to shrink this separation a little bit. There we go. I'm going to drag some of my clouds up towards the portal without getting rid of the dark separation. Just shrinking it. There! I like it. I like it. Yes! So, let me know what we should call it. Right? What should we call this old guy in the day? Very cool. Yeah, we don't even, I mean, do we have enough paint to do one more little tree up there, Josh? It's kind of like, we might have enough. And we don't even have to highlight this little guy, right? Because he's going to be so far away back here that we don't even need to put any highlights. It's going to be like a little silhouette. Bang, bang, boom. Pop it in. Down to the floor. wider, and then I need to come in here, and I don't even need my brush. I can just literally tap at the grass and kind of seat him in. Right there. Gorgeous. I like it. Yes! Okay. You guys let me know what we should call this one. Maybe we'll put just a little touch on him. He's right up there next to the moon. We have a couple little bits of something out there. We don't want to cover up all the stuff where he's going to be impossible to see. Okay. Yeah, guys, let me know what we're going to call this painting. So you give me a title. And like I said, if you grab it during the live show, you get to choose the title forever. Forever. So, again, if you don't understand that reference, we cannot be friends. So, let me know what you guys think. What should we call it? We're going to be looking at all thing Moon's Grave Nightfall. I like that. I like it. I like it. Mystic Moonlight. I dig it, you guys. I dig it. This is one of the only double portals that we didn't have fall out of the portal, out of the front, like a waterfall or something like that. Let's see. What if... It's kind of cool up, yeah. A little bit of our green stuff, right? Maybe we're kind of growing it up the thing. Maybe there's a little bit of moss, something like that. Right in there. He's an old guy. He's an old one out there. Right? Let's kind of overtake his little gravestone right there. Fabulous. Okay. You guys come up with a title. And like I said, if you purchase this one during the show, you get to title it forever. Been a hot minute since we've done any double portal paintings. And the coolest part about them is you get to have your bird family fly in the portals or on the outer portals with my bird family when you get a double portal painting during the show. But it's only during the show that is possible. So, if you want your family to fly alongside mine, grab this painting during the live show. We'll throw your birds in there, and you get to title the painting. Perfection. Man, we used a lot of brushes on this one, you guys. I'm finally back in my own studio where I have all of my brushes, right? You're like, Joshua, where were you? Where did you go? I was teaching classes in Gaston at Comfy Paints. That's Jackie's studio up there. That was a whole lot of fun. And we did 2 days worth of classes, taught like 24 different students. It was amazing. And everybody had such a good time, they want me to come back again. So we'll be back up there in like November, December-ish. And we'll just have to see everybody again soon. Okay. So you guys come up with a title. I got 2 more brushes to wash off. All right, 3, but we're not going to count 1. We're not going to count the 1 brush. Here. Man, I came back from teaching those classes and I had to instantly jump into being my daughter's volleyball coach and start scheduling practices and all that stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I've been out of town. I did not see. Okay, so what do we got for titles, guys? Has anybody got this one? Transition Space. I like that. Heaven Can Wait. I like that one too. I like that one too. Seasons Portal. The Resting Place. That's a cool one. Enchanted Falls. Midnight Dream. Let's see. Misty Dreams. Angel Star Falls. Twilight Falls. Earth's Bubble. I like that. Forever. Thank you, Shane, over there on the FB for getting my reference. A Peek Through Space. I like that. That's really neat. Waterfall Flowers, Paradise Falls, that's a cool one. The Hidden Man. Is there a hidden man in there somewhere? Did I miss it? I like that cloud up around the moon. That one came out really neat. Free Fallen, I dig that. Graveyard Falls, that's a cool one too. The Other Side of Heaven's Portal. I like that. I like it, guys. Yeah, the thing looks so 3D. Full Moon Falls. Your grandma's over there? That's nice. Thank you, Monique. I appreciate you. Beauty rests here. I like that. Mystic stroll. That's cool. The end. Thank you, baby girl. I appreciate that. That's the person's screen name. I'm not just saying that. Painting with hidden images. I used to hide birds and stuff in there, like literal birds, like sitting on a branch and stuff. But it comes a time where you're like, you know what? No one even notices them anymore. And so I'm going to stop doing that. So we are going to put in our little bird family with white because we're on a black canvas. We're going to have our little birds flying in the night out there. And we're going to go, there's not a lot of room in the bottom portal as far as sky. You know what I mean? All of our sky is overtaken by all of this. And so let's come up here. Let's do them small and in the distance and just go and just flying in the night. Oh, I like it, guys. I like it. Slide this guy down here. Over there. Boom, boom, boom. And since we do these portals, where would you find a portal? I would figure it's going to be in space. And so we're going to take a couple little stars around. Okay, so we're going to speckle out onto the outer rim. Star Wars reference. And again, if you don't get my references, we cannot be friends. The outer rim of the thing. We don't really need to get it inside. It'll look like a billion stars out there in space. In space. Now, how are you doing that, Josh? You're just doing it without telling us, okay? We take our liquid white, very small amount, spread it evenly by dabbing it on this thing. See what I mean? Like you can cover the whole thing if you wanted to, okay? And then what we do is we drag the paint to the end, which bends back the bristles and then launches them forward. So if you're very close, you're gonna, and you know, a lot of force, you're gonna get a giant splotch right there. If you're very gentle and very far away, you're gonna get faint little stars in the sky, right? It's all up to you and what you feel like doing whenever you guys go to do yours, right? Very cool. Now, how do you paint a more detailed star, Josh? Okay, I'll give you one more little thing to the tutorial, okay? One more guide. So we're gonna take, I don't know, let's say, we got our liquid white onto our brush over here. I mean, we can even put one right here, watch. Boop. It's a bigger dot, right? Maybe it's a planet. It's a little closer to us. Maybe it's a faraway galaxy. Maybe it's just a single star. It's a little bit bigger on our thing, right? Bing, bang, boom, popping these little doers in wherever we want to put them. Put them close, put them far, put them here, put them there. It's wherever, guys, honestly. Seriously, right? Now, let's take some of these ones because they're a little bit bigger and they have some liquid white on there with our palette tool that has no paint on it at all. Right, wiping off all the excess paint. We're going to line it up, right in the center of the blade. Touch on and then drag up and down a couple times. Right, so you get that long little twinkle. We're gonna do the same horizontally and get a little twinkle just by moving the blade back and forth. You get a little bink, little star in the sky. Right? How many little stars do you want to do? How big is it? Can you do the 8-point like that, where it's going like a pizza? Bing, bang, boom. Is yours big enough to do that? Right? Or is it smaller, in which case you might only get a little small drag because there's less paint there, right? You might only be able to do it once or twice or whatever, but it's up to you. Don't ever do them all. I never like doing them all. That seems a bit ridiculous, right? Like if we're doing all of them and they all are equal, it's gonna be kind of odd to me out there anyway, right? So drag them off, a couple little guys, maybe we'll just go whoop, and one more little bink, just like that. Little things, right? Because they're gonna catch your eye and you'll be like, ooh, I love the stars. Look at these little twinklers out there, right? But if you do it to everyone and everyone is a twinkler, then it's just not gonna make any sense. So very cool. Let's pick a title. It's all signed and ready. We got all the brushes all cleaned up and you guys are looking good. So let's pick a title on it. And then we'll get up on out of here. Shit. Oh man, perfect. Heaven's Gate, Graveside Port. I love that. I love that. Look at how the stars just added about 1,000,000 miles worth of depth in the background. Isn't that fabulous? Isn't that fabulous? Dancing stars, I like that. Thanks, Kristen. Appreciate you. The cycle repeats. Boom, ba, boom. Ba, ba, boom. Get rid of some of these little guys are too bright back in here. There we go. Leave some of that shadow in the grass, which is just that darker paint. Just going to tap on. You guys know me. We love finger painting around here. All the time. All the time with the finger paints over here. So, let's pick one of these titles, Josh. What are we going to do? What are we going to do, you guys? Man, I forget how much fun doing the portal scenes is. Like, it's a lot of fun out there. Really cool. Okay. So, I'm going to turn around here. We're going to pick the very first one that I like. All right, let's see. Boom, ba, boom. Those are nice. Those are not in the night. I like that. Oh, that's cool. Right there, Raya. Galactic Gardens. That's a cool title. I like that. The Galactic Gardens. Yes! I hope you can take some of these things that you've learned in the tutorial today and use them in the future. Like for your grave stones in your Halloween paintings. Maybe you want to make full moons. I hope you learned something as far as the clouds or the background forest or the grass. Anything. Guys, this one's number 2,101. That's how many paintings we're up to now after all those classes. Oh, and I painted the most gorgeous little nighttime seascape. I'll show it to you if you guys ask me to show it to you. I'm not gonna bring it up beyond that, but I painted it earlier today off camera. It is the beautifulest thing you've ever seen. The entire coast is full of rocks. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm looking at it. I can't stop looking. All right, what were we calling this one again? Galactic Gardens. Galactic Gardens. I like that. This one was painted on 10/13. There's an extra slash in there. Now it's going to say 125 because I put an extra slash. Stop watching me write things, guys. It's when you watch me that I get nervous when my writing comes, or my penmanship comes into question. So please go check out this place right here. It's the only thing you're allowed to read. Don't read anything else, right? Except that one thing right there, okay? That's where you got to go to find all these gorgeous paintings and different little things that you can love. We do puzzles and all sorts of stuff too. All sorts of stuff, you guys. So, thank you guys for watching the show. You've been amazing. I can't wait to see everybody's versions that's watching over on YouTube and on Facebook. You guys have been fantastic. I love yous all. Please send in your versions to @officialpaintwithjosh on the FB, where you can send me photos of your paintings or post them in my comments on any one of my posts that you ever see. I can't wait to see what you guys can do with these double portals. And remember, the original, the creator of the double portals, right? Appreciate it. Throw me an @ every once in a while. Like, hey, thanks Paint with Josh for showing us how to do these. Like, I don't get tired of those. I appreciate those. So, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you again on the next one. And until I see you guys again next time, take care. Have the rest of a good day. And boosh, man. My voice is just not wanting to cooperate today, you guys. You guys.